Aloha guys, this is JRTV. Sun is shining, clouds are nice. Just in a serene park over here. Wanted to share with you the idea of motivation. And also thank a viewer, Break the Cycle, for encouraging me to quote-unquote break the cycle and produce fresh content. You know, find even more subject matter to cover. Thanks for the constructive critique. Now as we all know, I talk about the chakras. That's obviously a motivation to meet your basic needs, desires, and wants. And there are different ways to do that. You know, some people think you need different forms of nutrition. Some people might actually need different, forms, since their bodies might be of different, sizes. And I mean, I'm not talking people who are overweight, but even then, what motivates them to lose weight or not, or what motivates people to change their lifestyle, whatever the issue is, right? I'm gonna put these on the table, these matters. And the psychology of motivation is, manipulative people will find out what motivates people and then leverage it. For example, they might find out if somebody has an immature take on things and they want free stuff, like free transportation or food, or coming to an event, a party. But remember, nothing's free, right? Everything involves work and either goods or services that take effort to be produced. So, as you can see, the mountain in the background there. But in any case, guys, here we have a nice banyan tree. In any case, right? So, for example, the people who are vegan might be motivated to protect the animals, or because they see animals as equals to humans, or just because they don't want the negative karma associated with it. They may it's a nice root system here. They may also just want to be healthy and not have, and it's also a cost factor. Meat products are costly, and dairy products and that. Let's see where we are here. But the point being, right? How do you... Oh, that's nice. This is called Hibiscus Drive, the flower. Check that out. Hibiscus. Can they see that? 1 second, guys. There you go, Hibiscus Drive. It's nice to live in Hawaii, as long as you don't get distracted by the idyllic weather, and that you'll be able to make the most of it. Alright, so obviously people are motivated by perhaps just the raw accumulation of money, of being able to say, oh, I have lots of money, or having that sense of security, and of course sexual desire. But the thing is, after you activate the second chakra via masturbation, then that no longer is a prime motivational factor. And then after you activate the third chakra, then see, it's dangerous to go into public and and not have your lower chakras activated, because then you might be blindly led to, and motivated to, meet your basic needs. And then if somebody has an offer for you for food or whatever, then you might be like, oh yeah, or at least subconsciously, it might be easier to catch you off guard. And the same goes with sexuality. If you haven't regular masturbation orgasms, then that you can get caught off guard by someone you find attractive and who may be trying to manipulate you, seduce you. And some people are motivated by a hierarchical structure. Like, they like the idea of father son, they like the idea of dominance and submission. A pastor and a follow, whatever you call it, churchgoer, or a king and his constituents, or whatever you call them. But those are unhealthy motivations of the third power chakra. The third power, right, has to do with, obviously you can activate it with music listening, exercise, creative activities, to gain a sense of accomplishment. By the way, what I've been doing every day is I've been always saying I want to be where I can have the maximal amount of impact and have a strongest sense of purpose. That's one thing I've done, as far as a mantra goes, right? But you got to really look into things. Like, when people say, like I say, world peace, like, what motivates me? Well, what honestly motivates me is me, my future incarnation. I want to make the world better for my future incarnation. You could say it's selfish, but that's one of the paradoxes. When people act rude and selfish, it's often because they're not spending enough time to be considerate and respectful of themselves, and they're hoping, or putting their power in other people, hoping that other people will forgive or apologize to them, or they're hoping that other source, external factors, people will agree with what they're doing, and that proves to be a risk, because you're putting your power in others' hands. Just like hoping that somebody is attracted to you. And that's a thing. That's a thing that occurs. Like you have to deal with your own three chakras on your own. That's what I'm trying to say. And then the fourth chakra, unconditional love. Sometimes it's dangerous to be in that chakra, the fourth chakra, when you're in public, because you may have to be in your first chakra and engage in defensive fight or flight tactics, right? But the fourth chakra, right? That's what I would describe as true motivation, or true humanity, or authentic, or soul. That's where you can actually voluntarily, unobstructed, by choice, not because of some type of sense of obligation, or some type of whatever, societal whatever, maybe some type of tension, like a lot of times when I'm around people I'm attracted to, or different women, whatever, there might be a sexual tension, and that's why I think that it's not useful to have like co-ed schools and that. Also, the purity ring helps to stabilize my thoughts, and part of it is indicating your motives, and you can do that obviously with clothing, different accessories, or religious items, and understanding what people's motivations are important too, because they may try to deceive you and say, oh, let's just whatever, hang out. But it's important to realize that that is, shall we say, an imprecise, it's when you when you talk more imprecisely, like say, oh, let's just chill, or however people you, instead of saying, oh, let's have dinner and let's, you know, have a, you know, have a fun time, or, you know, what I'm saying is just be careful. Be careful, because when you plan stuff and you plan, okay, we're gonna do this, and maybe we're gonna discuss our dreams and whatnot. When you do that, then you know you're making your time more productive, constructive, even if it's just free time with friends. But what happens is, if you just make your time casual, it can lead to conflicts, or just being overpowered by other people's wills. If you say, yeah, you know, whatever, you don't want to be, if you don't, what I'm saying is, if you don't have, this is not my idea, it's a good idea though, if you don't have any goals, then you can be and any schedule, then you can be pushed over and led by other people's wills. All right. And so in that sense, people who are manipulative and that I talk about, they're motivated by power and dominance, you know, and that's an unhealthy way to activate the third chakra, power chakra. You know, other ways to activate an unhealthy way are stuff like, you know, having fancy things and expecting, just doing it for the sake of other people, not just because you enjoy them, but because you want attention from other people. Or stuff like a trophy wife or trophy husband. That's not true. That's not real. Just like just wanting somebody for their body or money is not real. But whatever the case may be, you know, think about what other people's motives are. Even if they may say one thing, they might really be another. And think about the motivations of groups. You know, are they pro-humanity? You know, what actually are they? And another thing is, what motivates you to be married? Is it because you feel badly for each other, or you feel lonely, or want sexual sexual sensations? Those aren't good reasons to commit to somebody for your whole life. You know, those are, you know, the good reasons to commit to somebody is because you, obviously the idea of the dream mate that I present, common dreams, mutual, you know, interests, lifestyle preferences, and subtle things. There are subtle things that attract people, like demeanor, like the way you talk, the way you dress, your kind of, you know, and other things like whether you believe in no premarital marriage, or whether you believe in if you have an unhealthy pregnancy, would you be willing to abort it or not? Like, these are serious issues that, you know, need to be considered, you know, in the real world before you get married. And remember, there are people who misuse the word love in different things, so be alert to that as well. And I'm gonna conclude by saying that sometimes people are misinformed, so they may have benign intentions, and, you know, they're motivated to make the country a better place or join the military to promote freedom. But, you know, if you really look into it, sometimes or be a doctor or whatever it is, there's the elements of corruption in all these. So just be aware of them, and, you know, you may have to. The most important thing is to live as cheaply as you can, such that you don't have to do things that you consider to be corrupt or bad. In other words, don't start a family unless you really have the financial position to, and it's derived off of fair trade, honest income. You know what I mean? And thanks for enjoying the trees here with me and considering what it is that compels people to do things. Sometimes it's just a mindlessness. It's just they're mentally programmed by people they call their elders or authority, like even stuff like a quote-unquote higher, supernatural power or whatever, or stuff like if they call people their father, mother, grandfather, that can secretly motivate them to do things that would cater to those people. Even though you may not overtly realize it. This is programming the subconscious mind. If you're always calling somebody your father or authority, you're going to want to cater to them instead of being your own person. So as an adult, I would say it's certainly not love to, for example, call somebody mother and son or daughter, anything, uncle, nephew, because those all indicate hierarchy, and it's not love. That's like it's just not equal. And as adults, we should all be equal, I think. So that's a motivation in of itself. And then you got all this degrees of corruption, and like I was saying, like big pharma, whatever, in the medical system. So just all stuff worth examining. Thanks again for tuning in. Aloha.